Let's talk about the Tudor Black Bay GMT Steel and Gold that was just announced at Watches and Wonders in 2022. I saw this watch fresh from Switzerland when I went to Brent Miller Jewelers in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I was there last week for a watch enthusiast meetup, and I got to see the watch in the shipping coffin. I pulled it out. I was the first person to handle it, take pictures of that example, do macro video and wrist rolls and all of that stuff. So I'd like to share my impressions here in this video, show you the footage I took of this brand new release that has been purchased by one of the attendees of that watch enthusiast meetup. So shout out Jason with your, new root beer Tudor GMT. But it's a watch that I was a little apprehensive on when I was just looking at pictures and renders on Tudor's website, but seeing it in person and putting it on wrist, all of those concerns really evaporated. It's such a warm and sharp watch. It looks lovely. I love it on the bracelet. I love that dome dial. I love that polished beveled edge on the case. It's a very well put together watch that photographs well. And I think it was a great idea from Tudor to expand on the GMT line. I know everyone was expecting the 58 size to get like a Pepsi bezel or whatnot with the GMT complication. But Tudor did the Black Bay Pro, which I haven't seen in person yet. And then they did this root beer GMT. And between the Pro and the root beer, the steel and gold, I'm gravitating toward the steel and gold. I think it really is a sharp, well executed, a little bit larger size that is more to my personal tastes. I really like it in person. Now on the screen behind me, you can see one of the pictures of this right next to the full steel Pepsi variation of the GMT. It was very nice to see both of them side by side. And I'd like to answer the question, which one is better? Which one would I recommend if you can only buy one? I would say it comes down to two things. One is the value. I know a lot of us watch enthusiasts, we shop in terms of value. Like, I want to get a great amount of watch for my money. I think the value is found in the steel variation. It's been on the market for a little while. The retail price is obviously lower than the steel and gold variation. The steel and gold on a bracelet is $5,550, and the stainless steel version, the Pepsi on a bracelet, is $4,175. So well over $1,000 less at retail, carries the same movement, the same fit. Obviously, you have stainless steel instead of a little bit of intrinsic value with the precious metal. So if you're looking for the value, I'm going to recommend the Pepsi. But between the two, I don't know if it's recency bias just speaking, but I really like that subtle warmth, the uniqueness of that, brown and gold and black, that look that is synonymous with the root beer. So I would pick a root beer. I'd spend a little bit more and get a root beer just because, I don't know, there's something very inviting about it. And I don't have anything like it in my own rotation. I would personally pick the steel and gold over the Pepsi, but I recognize the Pepsi, I think, is where the value is to be had. Now let's talk about dimension and movement. We'll talk about a few of those specifics. 41 millimeters in diameter, 50 millimeters lug-to-lug dimension, 14.8 in overall height, so it's a rather thick watch. It really would be nicer if it was thinner in overall case height, similar to a GMT Master 2 from Rolex. And then we have a 22 millimeter lug width, 200 meters of water resistance, and the movement within the case is called the MT or Manufacturer Tudor 5652, which is a COSC certified movement. It's an in-house movement. We have a free sprung balance. We have a silicone hairspring. It's very anti-magnetic, very well dialed in, and carries what is advertised as a 70-hour power reserve as to not, I guess you could say, show up the older brother Rolex by a small degree, but by all accounts, I'm hearing that you'll actually get 72 hours of power reserve with the 5652 movement from Tudor. Now let's talk about the gold aspect of the steel and gold. We have a solid gold bezel. We have a solid gold crown. If you look at the end link, that center portion is a brushed solid gold. But everything else, the center links on the rest of the bracelet, that is known as wrapped gold or rolled gold, which essentially is a thin layer of gold, thick enough to where you're never going to wear through it. You could get it touched up, refinished, and you're not going to wear through that. But it's wrapped around a stainless steel skeleton or frame. So it cuts down on the amount of precious metal, takes the price down, as a more reasonable amount. I know we're talking about luxury watches here, but it takes the retail price down by eliminating some of the gold. But I know some watch enthusiasts, they don't want the wrapped gold and the steel and gold from Tudor. In fact, any two-tone watch from Tudor will have rolled gold in the bracelet. So just be aware of that. I don't really mind that as much. I do have a couple things that bother me personally, not to the degree that I would put off buying one of these watches, but let me share what those are. I'm not the biggest fan of the faux rivet style bracelet. I get why they're doing it, but it's just not my, it's not working for me. And I'd love to see great anti-reflective treatment on this domed sapphire crystal so I can look at the dome texture dial to a higher degree of clarity. You do get some glare, you do get some reflections off of this crystal. Again, not to the degree that would keep me from buying it, but it would be nice if it had anti-reflective treatment. But really, other than that, this is a very solid true GMT movement, which I like seeing. It's my favorite of the common or practical complications. I'm glad that more brands outside of Rolex, outside of Grand Seiko, are making true GMT movements, true GMT calibers. And this one is among the best when it comes to value in a mechanical or automatic movement, in-house movement. So really like the model. I think the steel and gold looks excellent in person, much better than the renders, much better than on the website. And I'm glad I got the opportunity to film it out at Brent Miller Jewelers. And again, shout out Jason, really enjoyed meeting you. And I'm excited for your purchase. So guys, reach out with questions. Thank you for watching. Links will be in the description of the video. I'll see you guys next time.